Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. This is Kenesha and I am the owner of this channel, The Life of Kenesha. So today I wanted to actually do the second part of the Healing Diaries. I am in my car, a new setting. I wanted it to initially be like couch setup all the time, but I felt the need to do it now. I just let my hair down. I was walking the track and running, so I'm still out here, but I don't know. I had my iPad, I had my camera. I was like, let's do it. So I'm sorry. I think somebody is getting their license to drive like the school bus. So it's like a school bus driving back and forth around me. So I'm so sorry if y'all hear the noise in advance. If they come close to me, I'll try to stop recording or stop speaking so that they can pass through, and that won't be a problem. But right now, see, here they go again. Like, what are y'all doing? I swear I think they're training somebody though. Yeah, what a fine day to come to the park and record. But yeah, this is the second part of the Healing Diaries, and as you can see, everything is in shambles. Of course, it's always, it wouldn't be me. But no, for real, this is my second part. I have a lot on this list today, so I'm just gonna get started because this one is not an easy talk. It's not. It's not for the weak. It's very in-depth, and the first one, if you haven't watched it, I'll have it in the cards up above. That one we just talked about general life of me, like my work, my school, my health, just the general overall aspect of me. But this time we're going a little bit deep, like inside of me. So sorry if I'm a little sleepy shirt or whatever. I just threw something on. Today was one of those days. But today we're going to talk about trauma, toxic behavior, relationships, friendships, boundaries, saying no, and coping and faith. So we have quite a bit to go through, and I'm not going to too much dwell on anything or whatever. And I do want to let y'all know this is my second time recording this video because I had the first one and I probably should have put it out and just added this in, but I had so much more I wanted to talk about, and I had a few distractions when I recorded that first video. So as you can see, we have more distractions here, but it's on my heart to do this video today, right here, right now. So I'm gonna do it. So let me get myself situated. Okay, the first thing I wanted to talk about, and honestly I just wanted to get it out the way, was trauma. Now for trauma, I have 4 different types of traumas on here, and like I said, I'm generally always speaking about myself. I can't tell you anything that I haven't went through. So generally speaking, I'm speaking about myself, but if it's for you, then you definitely can take that as well. But it's a part of this healing journey. So I'm pretty much just talking about my struggles and what I've had troubles with as far as trauma. And I guess we can talk about childhood trauma first. Yeah, so for those of you who know me, yeah, we just gonna get right into it. For those of you who know me personally, you will know that I was SA, and I'll put it on the screen. And I'll also put a trigger warning in here too, because I don't know if that's something that you all have experienced as well. But I was SA as a child for years, and it was in my household. And that for me took a while for me to get over. It took a while for me to understand, because as a child I was 10, 11, 12, 13, when it stopped. And that took a while for me to get over, because it was nothing that was talked about. It was pushed under the rug. My abuser was still living in the household with us. Like, it was something that was just normal to sweep under the rug in a black household family, which is not okay. Under any circumstances, it's not okay. And I had a lot of depression as a child. I cried a lot as a child. I didn't trust people. I acted out as a child. It did cause me to be hypersexual. Never did anything, but put it in terms how you want to. It caused me to definitely be hypersexual and hyperactive in terms of my sexuality. It caused a lot of sneakiness in my household, and everything above that came with it. And it also came with trust issues in my household. I can literally count on one hand how many nights I slept because I didn't want to sleep. Because for whatever reason, I'm not so much like this now, but I was a very, very, very deep sleeper. And I found out that that's when it was happening. And it caused me to not want to sleep as a child. I didn't want to be a girly girl anymore. I started hanging with my little brothers in the projects, hanging with the boys. I didn't want to wear anything but tissues. I didn't want to wear no dresses, no skirts, no nothing. I wanted to wear pants at all times. Like, it caused me to have so much trauma and so much trust, mistrust or distrust or whatever in the household, because of that one little incident that wasn't talked about, was swept under the rug, and nobody wanted to acknowledge it. And I can honestly and truthfully say I didn't acknowledge it. I didn't speak on it. I didn't want to speak on it at all until I went to church one day, and my pastor called me out about it. Pastor or evangelist, Miss Angela Miles, and she called me out in church, and I was just sitting here. I knew she was about to call me out. I pretty much, is like the whole rundown about it. Somebody being SA, and it was by somebody close in their family or whatever. And like, she was just literally giving me a rundown. I'm like, Lord, I'm sitting there with my head down the whole time. I'm like, Lord, please don't let this lady come over here. 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 I'm literally sitting here saying this in church, y'all. But that's literally what I was just saying the whole time. And it was so crazy because this was the first time I invited my grandmother and my aunt to church. I went to church with my dad, stepmom, and my siblings. But this is the first time I ever invited my grandmother and my aunt to church. And that happened, and I was just like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. So they didn't know, but everybody found out that day. I don't know if people knew who, but she just came to me and she prayed for me. She prayed over me, and I just broke down. I literally just broke down. And she asked me his name, and she just basically was like, you gotta let that hurt go. She's like, you gotta let that hurt go. She was like, it's breaking you, baby. And I was just like, and all I could hear was my grandma crying, and my auntie, all I could hear was them screaming. And I'm just like, and they was just like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't supposed to be talked about. But I just shared my experience with y'all for y'all to know that it's okay not to be okay. I haven't seen him in years. I forgave him for, I guess you could say, well, I forgave him for me. He apologized like when I was a child, but it's kind of condescending because then he turned around and he asked me out of his own mouth, could he touch me? So it was like I apologize, but slap in the face. So I never took the apology serious, because of that reasoning there. And yeah, I haven't really seen him. I do know he has kids of his own now. And that's pretty much it. I had to forgive him for me, because if I didn't, it would cause so much more problems in my life right now, as far as relationships go, my sexual health goes, not sexual health, but sex life goes, like all of that, like trust, all of that. It played a big part in it. So yeah, that's just pretty much that issue with that. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still a work in progress. Still. But yeah, that just kind of ties in with the family trauma. Like, if you're experiencing something like that, I don't give a who you're talking to or who your parents are, but don't hold stuff like that in. Don't hold stuff like that in, because you could be saving a life from somebody else. You could be saving your own life. I know people who have experienced SA and they've self-harmed themselves with cutting or whatever the case may be, with drugs or even suicide. So if you're experiencing something like that, please tell somebody. You don't have to leave it. You don't have to keep that in. And then another thing I figured out was family members being envious of the unknowing. Like, people probably thought that when I was a child or I was living with my parent or whatever as a child, that I just had it all. Like, I just had it all. Like, my daddy got this, my daddy got that. I just had it all, but I was so unhappy. I was so unhappy inside. I was so broken as a child. Like, and for you to have people who are envious of you over that, I'm like, I honestly don't talk to a lot of family because of that. Because they made fun of me as a kid for that particular reason, not the SA reason, but because of how we lived and how we carried ourselves. But you fail to realize it was so much trauma going on in my life and in that family itself. You would have never known what was going on. And a lot of people still probably don't know what's going on. So I'm like, don't judge a book by its cover. But family can be traumatic as well. Family, and that just ties in with the childhood trauma. All of that can be traumatic. And learn how to cut people off. Like, seriously learn how to cut people off without feeling any remorse about it. But yeah, I'm back, y'all. I had to change my battery out. But yeah, like I was saying, that was pretty much the childhood and family trauma aspect of the trauma. So I guess we can talk about relationships and friendship trauma. I'll talk about relationship first because that one isn't as long as the friendship trauma is. So I just go with the relationship trauma or whatever. I've experienced some horrible relationships, and yeah, now maybe I'll do a story time on that one day. But good God, I've experienced some horrible relationships, y'all. And honestly and truthfully, you have to forgive people, because if you don't, you're gonna harbor all that pain and you're gonna be bitter and you're gonna be hateful. And I'm not a bitter or hateful person, so I don't want that on my heart. I don't want that in my heart. And I honestly just feel like relationship trauma is real. You can suffer from PTSD. You can suffer from so many things, Lord, so many things. And trust issues is one of them. Being cheated on, you are not able to trust people because you're thinking that this person is going to do what this person did. And the most I can honestly say for that is, don't bring your past into your present. Whatever happened in your past, if you're not healed from it, or you're not willing to heal from it, or you're healing from it, don't go into your present with it. Don't go into your future with it, because you're gonna hurt the other person. Hurt people hurt people. Point blank period. It's no way around it, no way in between it. Hurt people hurt people. And that's just pretty much it. Like, you can't just say that you're gonna do this, that, and the third and be done with it. You have to actually be willing to do the work. Like, for instance, my ex, he cheated on me, had babies on me, and everything. Now, that could have made me bitter. That could have made me hateful. That could have made me have trust issues. And I did for a while after that, which is why I didn't date. I was not in a relationship for a long time. I mean, I dated around, but I didn't exclusively date anyone to where we were in a relationship. Because I had those issues, and I knew I had those issues. I've never been the type of person to check somebody's phone. I don't care if you're giving me a reason to. If I feel like you're giving me a reason to check your phone, then I'm gone. If you're cheating, bye. I'm not checking nobody's phone. I'm not running up behind you questioning you where you've been. Because I've learned that whatever you do outside of me is going to show back up. So if you do it in the dark, it's coming to the light. And that's just point blank period. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just a naive person, but I don't have the time or the patience to worry myself sick about what you're doing. I know that I didn't do nothing foul to you, so I don't have the energy to try and prove how you're cheating on me. Okay, because when I find that out, if I was to go through somebody's phone and I found out that they're cheating on me, am I gonna leave you right then and there? Maybe not. So what was your point of going through the phone? And I'm just saying this because I see people do this every day in everyday life. You cry, you get sick, you don't want to eat, you're depressed, but you still ain't under him at night. So why am I going through a phone? And there's too many diseases out here to be trying to get back and play with people. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So that's just pretty much it with that. Don't bring your past into your present, and heal before you get into a relationship with anybody. So that's all I'm going to say about the relationship issues and traumas. So I'm going to move along to friends and friendships trauma. So I don't have friends. Well, I do have friends, but I don't have friends. And I have a lot of friendship trauma. Specifically, I call people associates because that's what I feel like they are. I feel like a friendship is a mutual relationship where you all are mutually benefiting one another. I strongly feel like that. Maybe that's not the Webster's dictionary of one, but that's my dictionary of a friend. Like, we help each other, we're there for each other and stuff. And I don't feel like I have had that in my friendships. I have been through some people, and I strongly feel like it was because I met them at such a young age, so we all bonded through trauma. We bonded through trauma. And it's hard trying to maintain a friendship with someone when you're excelling and they're stagnant. You can't be friends with someone who doesn't want to excel if they're just going to stay here the whole time. You can't do it. I'm sorry. And I feel like that's where I was in my friendships. And it had gotten to the point where I'm overexerting myself now because I care about you more than you care about you. And I feel like once I reach that point in life, then it's time to go. Because now I'm being hurt and I'm getting traumatic experiences from your experiences. Like, you don't care about you and I'm supposed to. No. Because now, every time you call me and you use me as a trash can to dump all of your loads onto, you just constantly dump and dump and dump and dump and dump, and you never pour into me. You never pour into me, but you're constantly dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping on me. And I can't give my best of me because I'm full of your trauma. Like, people fail to realize when you go through traumatic things in life, whether it's with a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, a family member, when you go through that traumatic experience with that person, you're also being traumatized. You also are taking on that trauma. Like, you literally are living through that trauma with them. So not only do you have to comfort them in their trauma, you're also comforting yourself because you're harboring that pain and trauma that they went through as well. But they're pushing it over and pushing it under the rug, and you're still here stuck with that trauma. And they've moved on to new traumas. So that's what I mean when I say friendship trauma and all of that. I've also had people use me, whether it was for a car, money, whatever the case may be. And I just realized that I don't want those type of people around me. I understand people go through hard times and people need help. And I don't kick anybody when they're down. I'm always going to be a person encouraging you, praying over you, and everything above. Like, literally, I'm always going to be that person doing everything I can to help you and assist you. But I can only do so much. If you're not going to meet me halfway, I can't give you 80% and you give me 20. I can't do it. It's not going to happen at all. It can't happen. Because then I don't have that 80% to give to myself. I can't give myself that 100% because I'm giving you 80. So if I'm giving you 80, I can only give myself 20. Make sense? No, it don't. I can't give you anything because I don't have anything. So that's just pretty much what that is. You can't put yourself into other people's issues because it's always going to be that person over your feelings. When you get to the point where you can't take any more trauma or you need to be consoled, you don't have that person because that person is going through so much and you've already taken on all their traumas. But who's there to help you? Who's there for you to vent to? Who's there for you to express how you feel? And you can't give them that because they've already given it to you. So if you get where I'm going with that, then yeah, you just have to be able to say no. And that brings me to the next one. When I was talking about setting boundaries and saying no, don't overexert yourself. Please don't. I promise it's not a good feeling. Don't allow people to constantly use you when it comes to money, whatever the case may be. I found myself in a situation where a person only called me when they wanted money, or they wanted me to pray for them, or they wanted me to help them find something, or even just taking them somewhere. Like, don't overexert yourself for people, because just as sure as they pay Uber and Lyft, they could pay you. Just as sure as they can call this person, that person, and third, they could call you. Just as sure as they can send a text message or write a post on Facebook, they can send a message to you. So don't overexert yourself. Don't feel bad when people grow apart or people are moving on and doing other things with their life. Just don't. It's not even worth it. You did your part. As long as you know you did nothing foul to a person and you were everything that you needed to be in that assignment, when it's time for you to leave that assignment, let it go. Let it go. Literally, let it go. Because if you don't, you're going to constantly find yourself harboring trauma and pain and all of that. And that person's not going to care. That person's gone. That person do not care. You're going to have to learn to take care of self. And that's where self-care comes in. Take yourself a breather. Go get a massage. Go get a freaking pedicure. Get your nails did. You can do your own hair. Go get your hair did. Pay someone to do your hair. Anything that's clearing your mind and making you feel good about yourself and making you feel like you're something, I feel is self-care. Do what you need to get by. As well as taking care of your mental health too. I don't suffer from any mental health, diagnosed or undiagnosed. I don't think, but I'm not diagnosed with anything and I'm not placing it on myself. But if you feel like you have some issues with mental health, I really encourage you all to get help. Seek help. People are losing their lives every day. So if there's something that you're struggling with, please get help. If you all need somebody to vent to, you can literally DM me. All of my ads will be in the description bar below. DM me. I'll get you some resources that you can contact. Like, y'all, we're here. We have to help each other. And especially for my black women and men, we literally need to help each other. Not discrediting any other race, but we are minorities. We are still minorities. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. And I did want to talk about toxicity, toxic behaviors and relationships and things. Let them go. You don't have to constantly fight with someone and, have all type of disrespectful back and forths and things like that nature. Y'all let it go. End things. If you have to cut that person off and block them from everything, including social media, end it. You don't have to allow that person to constantly be in your life. You don't have to be petty towards the person either. Once you end things, you don't have to. Just let it be. Just let it be and stop allowing access. I have a person to this day, specifically an ex, who has contacted almost every being in my family trying to get in touch with me. When he had every piece of access to me when we were in a relationship. I don't want to talk. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Stop allowing access to people. Because I could easily say, hey, send him my number, or hey, do this, that, and third, or unblock him from everything. But why? What's the reason? I'm a firm believer in cutting people off and not telling them why I cut them off, because we're grown and you know exactly what you did for me to cut you off. There's no need for me to. It is not one reason for me to sit here and stress myself out about why you want to talk to me. You wasn't doing it then, so you damn sure ain't doing it now. And if you are, hooray, go do it for somebody else. No, ma'am. I don't have time for it. But this is pretty much going to be everything. The last thing I wanted to say was how I cope and my faith or whatever. Y'all, my camera is like overheating, so I'm going to say this real quick. But the last thing I wanted to say was how I cope was I pray. I write in my prayer journal. I will actually link that down below for y'all. If I have somebody that I vent to, I vent to them. I usually don't vent to anybody. I'm venting to y'all now. I do voice memos. I journal, like in a digital journal or something like that. But other than that, that is my coping mechanism. Faith, I do identify as a Christian. Whatever God you serve or being that you serve, I strongly believe in you praying or doing whatever you need to do to heal and get all the trauma and discrepancies out of you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This was a little touchy whatever, but yeah, this is pretty much it, and this is pretty much the end. I really hope you guys like this discussion. If y'all did, make sure y'all leave me some comments down below, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, share with your friends, all of that above. But my camera is overheating, so I gotta go. But thank y'all for watching so much. I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much, for real.